Karen is upset and yells at kids over soccer game. The soccer field was a patchy stretch of green, hemmed in by a chain-link fence and a parking lot that smelled like hot asphalt. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon, July 15, 2025, and the air buzzed with the chaos of a kids' non-competitive soccer league game, shouts, laughter, and the occasional thud of a ball. I stood on the sidelines with a handful of other parents, my arms crossed, my water bottle sweating in my hand. Our green team, a scrappy bunch of 9- and 10-year-olds, was up against the orange team, and let me tell you, it was already a mess. No coaches this season, budget cuts or something, so parents had to step up. Most of us were just trying to keep things fun, but she was different. Karen, in her neon pink visor and matching tracksuit, was running the orange team like it was the World Cup, and I could tell from the first whistle this wasn't going to be a good day. I wasn't playing or coaching, just watching, which gave me a front row seat to the disaster unfolding. The green team kids, my nephew Liam among them, were out there giving it their all, their sneakers kicking up clumps of grass. The orange team, though, they were something else. Their kids were taller, bigger, like they'd been fed protein shakes instead of juice boxes. And they played dirty. I saw one of their boys, a lanky kid with a smirk, body check Liam so hard he stumbled, his glasses slipping down his nose. Another orange kid tripped a girl on our team, sending her sprawling. Karen, pacing the sidelines like a drill sergeant, didn't bat an eye. No call, no timeout, nothing. Just her shouting, keep going, like it was all part of the plan. Then it happened. One of our kids, a shy boy named Ethan, miskicked the ball, sending it out of bounds. It was a mistake, the kind kids make when they're learning. But Karen pounced like a hawk. Come on, green. That's pathetic. Get it together, she yelled, her voice carrying across the field. Ethan's face went red, and I saw him shrink a little, his shoulders hunching. The orange team got the throw in, charged down the field, and scored. 0-1, the orange parents cheered, but I could feel the green team parents around me bristling. She's yelling at our kids, muttered Sarah, Liam's mom, next to me. I just shook my head, my jaw tight. This was supposed to be non-competitive, for God's sake. The game went on, and it got worse. A clear handball by an orange player, even their own kids admitted it, one of them raising his hands like, yeah, I touched it. But Karen wasn't having it. She strode onto the field, hands on her hips, and snapped, no, no, no. Let us make the calls, not you kids. I couldn't believe it. She was trying to bully our team out of a fair call, acting like her word was law. The ref, a nervous teenager who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, just shrugged and let it slide. The orange team kept the ball, and I could see our kids' faces fall, their energy draining. It didn't stop there. Late in the second half, one of our players, a girl named Mia, got body-checked by an orange kid so hard she hit the ground with a thud. Mia was tough, she popped right back up, brushing dirt off her knees, but one of their players, the same lanky kid, started whining about a boo-boo on his elbow. Karen lost it. Time out, she bellowed, rushing to her player like he'd been shot. Then she turned on Mia, pointing a finger. You need to watch where you're going. You can't just crash into people. I was floored. Mia had been the one checked, and now she was getting chewed out? The green team parents were muttering now, and I could feel my blood boiling. Sarah grabbed my arm. Is she serious right now? She whispered. I just nodded, too mad to speak. With 1 minute left, the orange team scored again. Karen counted it, screaming, that's it. 2-0, but our side didn't agree, the ball had looked out of bounds before the goal. The ref, spineless as ever, let it stand. The whistle blew, and the game was over. Our kids trudged off, sweaty and defeated, while the orange team hooped like they'd won the Olympics. I watched Liam kick at the grass, his face a mix of frustration and embarrassment. This was supposed to be fun, not a war. Then came the final straw. As the teams lined up for the usual handshake, Ethan, still stinging from Karen's earlier call-out, skipped saying good game to her. It was a small thing, the kind of thing kids do when they're upset. But Karen made it a federal case. Hey, she shouted, loud enough for everyone to hear. You don't just walk away. You say good game like everyone else. Ethan froze, his eyes wide, and I saw tears welling up. The other green team kids looked mortified, and even some of the orange players seemed embarrassed for her. I wanted to march over and tell her to back off, but I bit my tongue. I wasn't a parent here, just an aunt, and I didn't want to make it worse for Liam. Karen wasn't done. The whole game, she'd been yelling, orders to her team, insults at ours. Her kids had picked up on it, taunting ours with calls of trash and losers during breaks. At one point, Karen had the gall to shout, this is competitive, not some come-by nonsense, when one of our parents asked her to ease up. I nearly laughed out loud. It was a non-competitive league, for crying out loud. Then, in the same breath, she flipped the script. You guys were too competitive. It was like she was arguing with herself, contradicting her own point to justify her team's dirty play. Her kids, taller and rougher than ours, had an unfair edge, and she leaned into it, egging them on like they were gladiators, not fourth graders. After the game, the green team parents had had enough. Sarah and a few others marched over to Karen, their faces set. I stayed back, keeping an eye on Liam, who was sitting on the grass, unlacing his cleats. I couldn't hear everything, but I caught snippets of raised voices, Sarah saying, "You can't yell at our kids like that," and Karen firing back with, "Maybe teach them how to play." Her kids, hovering nearby, smirked and made snide comments, mimicking their mom's attitude. It was ugly, and I could see the green team parents' frustration boiling over. I pulled Liam aside, ruffling his hair. "You did great out there," I said, trying to keep his spirits up. "Don't listen to that lady. She's just loud." He gave me a small smile, but I could tell he was shaken. All the kids were. I'd heard stories about Karen before, this wasn't her first rodeo. Other teams had complained about her making kids cry, her team playing like they were in a cage match, not a rec league. It was bizarre, watching a grown woman turn a kids' game into her personal power trip. That night, the green team parents got together at a coffee shop near the field. I tagged along, sipping a flat white while they vented. "She's ruining it for the kids," said Mike, whose daughter Mia was still upset about the body check incident. "This is supposed to be fun, not a fight." Sarah nodded, her voice firm. "We're not bringing our kids back if Orange is playing. Not with her in charge." They decided to talk to the league organizer, a guy named Tom who'd always seemed fair. By Monday, Tom had sent an email to the league's director, laying out the complaints about Karen's behavior. They were pushing for her to step down as parent coach, or at least get a warning. I didn't know if it would work, but it felt like a start. As I drove home, the city lights blurring past, I couldn't stop thinking about those kids, ours, trying to have fun, and even hers, learning to bully because their mom thought it was competitive. I wondered if Karen knew the damage she was doing, if she cared that her shouting and rule-bending made kids dread the field. Probably not. People like her didn't see past their own egos. But I held on to hope that Tom's email would do something, that the kids could get back to playing without her shadow over them. For now, I'd be there on the sidelines, cheering for Liam, ready to call out the next Karen if I had to. Because if there's one thing I'd learned from this city, it's that you don't let the loud ones win.